Justin, did I lose you? There he is. Justin B, everybody.
How you doing, brother?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, how you doing, bro?
Good, good, good. Let's see here. Turn the background off. There we go. Let me get what I want going. We got Demo Man Don, Missouri Survival. How are you, gentlemen? I think I already sent you both. Should have sent you both invites already on Discord. But if not, there it is if you guys want to jump in. We're just filling that sweet, sweet airtime since TMT has had a day.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be getting some weather too, huh?
That's what he said. It stormed here early in the morning, made the power go out about 1 o'clock.
I'm staring at partly cloudy skies, about 80 degrees. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Be back to triple digits here by this time tomorrow.
Nice.
Fun.
So Mexico's Navy decided to sail into the Brooklyn Bridge.
Okay, so has anything else came out about the whole cadet thing? Was it just a bunch of newbies on there and that's what happened? Like,
Man, I don't even know. I'll admit that I'm not close to it. I'm just regurgitating,
well,
filling in other people.
from what I saw is that it had something to do with a bunch of cadets and they were supposed to hit a whole bunch of different ports, and I don't think they're hitting very many more ports now because they hit this one pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and advocate for the Remain in Mexico policy regarding their Navy. It's probably the best thing for them. And then they've come out and said that Biden has colon cancer and bone cancer.
Us bones.
What I heard.
Wouldn't be surprised. Well, they did say it's really aggressive and it's late stage.
Well, he's like 84.
Yeah.
And it didn't jump from colon cancer to bone cancer just in a couple months. They knew. I would bet you anything they knew this time last year, and they were going to run him anyways. And then
I find it hard to believe that no one knew. I mean,
well, he probably knew or might have known. I don't know, with his, that being a separate matter from his, um, problems of being senile or whatever he's got going on, whatever's affecting his brain that's not related to the cancer.
well, but they go through so many things constantly for health monitoring.
Oh yeah, especially the president. I mean, he's
That's
getting the best.
so.
Prostate. Thank
I
you.
find
Not
it
colon. Prostate. Thank you, Lid Laced Anarchy.
hard to believe that no one knew. I find it hard.
There's a link in the chat if you want to jump in. Ohio. But they knew. I mean, they knew that he had this because it didn't just snap snap your fingers. It didn't just come on.
Yeah, I mean, this shit doesn't just pop up overnight. That's not the way cancer. It's not in your bones, and it doesn't just appear overnight. It doesn't.
And I don't know at his age. I don't. I mean, even with getting former presidential finest treatment American money can afford, I don't know that there's a whole lot that they can do for him at 84.
No, your body's too weak. Something that aggressive and that late staged. I mean, you'd a healthy person would, you know, a healthy person would struggle with it.
I think Missouri's probably got it. Yep, that's who we ought to be blaming. Jill. I mean, I'm not even mad at him because he's. I mean, look at him. He just. There's barely any lights on. You know. They were just using him as a puppet. Flickering at best. That's right. He's just looking at her and he's like humming a ice cream. Doesn't even know. Lives a TikTok. There's got it going.
Guess what? The first frost. You know it was.
Hang on, let me start it over.
And because it was a 4-lane highway that was accessible, my mother drove us, and rather than us be able to walk. And guess what? The first frost. You knew what was happening. You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer, and why can't for the longest time Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation. And because it was a 4-lane highway,
Right there. The man said it himself. Oh, and we lost Justin again. Well, I guess it's a one-man show for now then. I'm going to run out of stuff to talk about and either default to gun stuff or it's going to turn into wiener jokes. Uh, Missouri, did you see that they caught the guy that they blamed for murdering Alex Jones' employee? What's Alex Jones got going on? Let's see here. No worries, Justin. Hey, Sister Krista. Yeah, every time. That's where it ends up. Huh. Just sending you to your own broadcast. I don't know. Let's see if that fixed it.
Other Patsy Lee Harvey Oswald with the killing of JFK in 63 got cancer and died a week later. You know, one of those 24-hour cancers. Unbelievable. And I've been talking to, I'll just leave it at that, high-level folks in the government today, several of them. Very interesting about what's going on at the DOJ and the rest of it. I'm going to think about the information I've got for a little while. I may break it tonight, definitely break it the next few days. But when you learn stuff like this, it's very important. You've got to cogitate on it and do your own research. And then I come up with my synthesis for you. We obviously have more on the 8647 Comey being brought into questioning by the Secret Service and what's happening on that front, the attempts of the corporate.
What's up, Ohio?
Testing a new mic tonight.
The Mexican Navy ship smashed and crashed.
It's what?
I said I'm testing a new mic tonight. Is it coming in okay?
You were loud and echoey.
Okay. I'll go back to my other one then.
The audio is rich, but it sounds like you're in a rotunda. And we lost him too. Come one, come all. My guests are dropping like flies. There's Military Arms Channel. Kind of over him. He's one of the long time, I would probably call OG gun tubers, but I don't get a lot out of him anymore.
A lot of people were over him when he fucked him out of those guns a while back.
Yeah. The ones that have been doing it for a long, long time, 10 plus years, that have all turned into just snake oil salesmen for SDI and some of the other big ads that you see on all of them. I'm kind of over all that. And I would even say some of the second wave ones, I'm about over them. And I get it. You get to a size where it turns, you have to make a decision. It either turns into a full-time job and it has to pay to do it. If you're going to provide that production quality and you're going to be an editor and props and good cameras and mics and stuff, I get it. It turns into a business venture. So it's got to pay. And I know that a lot of that advertising is to offset what YouTube no longer pays in AdSense, but yeah, I think I like the Rotundra better. Now you sound like you're driving down the road with your windows down.
Okay, it's probably from the fan in the background.
That's what it was. Yeah, that got better. Whatever you did.
I literally just moved the mic about 3 inches.
ACR Protect. Welcome, sir. So Honda had asked before what he needed to get in his 12 months leading up to the Colorado ban. And I think this is what he needs. This would be his practical edition. And he ought to get it in salmon pussy pink. Excuse me, rose gold. Even if he carried it with just a little 10-round mag. That'd give him more than his 5-shot revolver.
I mean, he said before when he's in his vehicle, he does have the dagger back up in like a gun box or something.
Yeah, but he's got that with the Taurus 709 or whatever, or the TCP. I don't remember which.
Something.
He's either got the 709 Slim or the TCP. And I think it's the 709 that he said that the sight slides out of it or whatever.
Yeah.
This is smaller than that, carries more ammo. There's viable 380 ammo. Certainly as viable as there is 38 special when you're talking out of both of them of sub 3-inch barrel. And he could have a spare 10-round mag or two in his car if he wanted.
When I was carrying an LCP for like a month, I just used 380 ball at that point.
That's what I've got in mind for the moment. My LCP, I've carried the Hornady XTPs, preferably the ones loaded by Fiocchi. They used to sell it under the Extrema line because they put it in a nickel-plated case, and their advertised muzzle velocity is like 15 or 20 feet per second faster. They don't appear to do the 380 in the Extrema line. Now they call it something else, and it's not advertised faster. So I think they've gone back and skimped on the powder just a touch. I see everywhere that people are running that Extreme Defender ammo and stuff through these that are plus P, even though there's no semi spec for a 380 plus P. Like that's just a made up marketing term. There's no standard for that. So fire at your own risk. I would hate for something like if there was going to be something that I was going to risk shooting non spec ammo out of, it would not be a little bitty pocket rocket. There's a whole lot less metal between you and the detonation, if that makes sense. Mouse guns and bullpups are two things I would not shoot intentionally overpressured ammo out of.
Yeah, I was fooling around with my AR pistol upper this afternoon, figuring out exactly where I need to put the what you call it on the blade to make sure it fits the length of my proper body type, and I think I finally got it nailed down now. It's just a matter of building it out now, is what it is.
For people wanting to build a clone on the cheap, but want a luxurious experience, these grips, man, they are money. They feel great. It's just the right texturing all the way around. That like, I don't even know what to call that, but it feels good. And they're OEMing for several companies now. Great Lakes is building a full pistol off those frames with their logo on it, and somebody else, but it's a Gen 3 dust cover and trigger guard, so it doesn't nick up holster compatibility like the dagger does. It's got a little bit of a swell to it on the sides, but then it also has kind of a reduced back strap, and then a slightly extended beaver tail for a Gen 3. So you don't get that slide bite. And then it's got the ambidextrous gas pedal, thumb ledge, but not so much. Like they've just reduced the top half, not extended the bottom half, so that way it doesn't mess up holster fitment. But they're nice. Handled 4 or 5 of them. They've been transferred in. I'm not paying attention to my comments. Sorry, everybody. I'm not a good host. I'm not engaging well.
Have you gotten a chance to fool around with the Bear Creek Grizzly?
I think 1 or 2 have come through. I
Okay.
believe I remember touching one. I'm sorry. I know this is counterintuitive to some of the folks in the community, especially over on the more the prepping side, less the gun side of our overlapping ponds. But Bear Creek does not excite me in the least. If PSA is supposed to be like the Walmart of gun manufacturers, I feel like Bear Creek is the Dollar General. And I just, like, none of their stuff that I've ever handled just oozed passion or quality. And I know more people that have had trouble with them than have had good luck with them. So I'm just like the AR market is saturated and has been for some time, and now the rough economy is going to start separating the wheat from the chaff. Everybody has moved into either making shotgun clones, Remington 700 clones, 1022 clones, or Glock clones. Basically, Muffin Top's Golden 5, that's what everybody is making now. And I was thinking about this the other day now that you've like fired off a synapses in my mind. Farm development pretty much died in the 80s, and I would blame a shit ton of that on the Firearm Owners Protection Act, them closing the machine gun registry. Because maybe everyone vies for the government contracts, like that's what they are after. But if they're not able to recoup the R&D money on stuff and sell it commercially, it doesn't motivate these, at least these American companies, to come up with anything cool. Like, there's no telling how many like neat designs we would have if they're able to sell them commercially without having to like hyper neuter them.
Yeah. Well, that was what I was having a conversation with Corey last year about this, because it was Taurus and then some Indian company at the time were getting together to do, it was like a military contract for the Indian military. And I forget what it was like, I believe it was like some kind of PCC or something like that, but it was full auto. And I was like, I want one of these, but I'm never going to have it because they're never going to sell it on the civilian market of any kind.
Yeah, they were doing a new striker fired pistol and then a sub gun that took the same mags and then some sort of rifle.
Yeah, and they were all cool stuff, and I'm just like, I want this now on the civilian market.
See if we can find that announcement from back like a year ago. And I don't know if that ever came to fruition. If they didn't get the groundwork laid for that in the last 12 months, then it's probably not going to happen now. For some reason, India has a hard time domestically producing guns. I haven't got to touch one of these yet. We've had the TH9s. We've even had one of the TH45s. So, I mean, the 45 and the 10 probably feel the same, but those don't feel like bad guns.
Yeah, it was Gender Defense was the Indian company. I just dropped the link in the back chat.
I don't know how to find. There we go, private chat. It looks different on here every time.
Yeah, because it was for security forces in India. They were making the stuff for.
Yeah, so it was the TH9. That was the 9mm AR looking thing. And then that TS9.
Yeah.
So that TS9 is kind of goofy looking. And then they were going to make their own version of an M4.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I thought there was a fourth gun there that was like the PCC or whatever. That kind of almost looked like a mix between like, I thought it was a mix between a MP5 and something else. And that was what I was into, and I was like, yeah, it's BS that we can't ever get this. So
These TX22s run really good. I wouldn't get the competition that has the optic mount on the actual fixed barrel. Don't do that one. Get the Generation 2 that has the optic cut on the slide.
yeah.
Because they run Glock pattern sights. And then they've got like the Holosun K footprint, RMSC footprint, optic cut. They run great. You can get them with or without the manual safety. 16+1 capacity. With like 20 or 21 extended now they're doing. They've been great little guns. People like them.
Yeah, I know Kentucky Gun Co. was talking about the other day about having, it was a deal or something where it had the 5 mags with it, and 2 of them were the 21 or 22 rounders.
Probably like this.
Yeah.
Can't show prices.
That's exactly
that wasn't a price. That was a telephone number.
And it also came with the optic and everything, and I'm just like, I really want one of those. Is what it is. Because I still have the Gen 1.
I have ate so much canned fruit the last couple days. Like, I just love it. I can't get away from it. Canned pineapple, canned peaches.
Yeah.
That and microwave popcorn. So ACR, I'm with you. I'm not doing good either.
I found out recently, apparently, strawberries in large doses are a diuretic.
Yeah, there's some chemical in strawberries that evidently they're saying you can use to fight insulin.
Well, that's good to know.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Fear not, for I have returned.
I had to run for a second too. So, it was all dinner.
Do we know if Honda is going live tonight?
I have no clue. I assume so, but maybe not.
Some guys getting handsy with the Chicago police. I hope I'm not about to go over all the stuff that he planned to go over in like an hour.
Probably not. I don't know. Corey and I were having an interesting conversation this afternoon about, I guess there was another Shiloh type that popped out of the woodwork. It was some guy who was an Uber driver. Just going off on some black woman because she tried to basically get a free ride out of him back to her house to get something else or whatever. And he was like, yeah, you're going to have to reorder the ride or whatever. And she's like, well, this is some bullshit. And he was like, get the fuck out of my car, N-word.
Missouri had it right this morning. He put up a short saying that hate speech is free speech. Like, you would rather them speak their mind and you know what company you're amongst than to try and prosecute that and compel speech, and then, you know, like they secretly hate you or they secretly discriminate. Like, you'd rather just know.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
and
here we go.
I think a lot of it, at least for what I personally have seen, witnessed, and been part of and stuff like that in my life, for racism against white people at this point, is a lot of us are just fucking over it at this point. Like, we just had it. And I really think that Shiloh woman was like a straw that broke the camel's back for a lot of people. And I think it was, I think it was mixed with that, and it was the Carmelo Anthony murder of Austin Metcalf that really kicked it off. So,
I mean, I guess I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't. Like, one of my grandfathers used that word a couple times in my presence, but never in anger. It was that he just grew up poor and in the South, and that was just how people spoke. And I'm not trying to make an excuse for him. He's been gone a decade, but when he said it, he was just relating a story. Like, he didn't say it with hate in his heart. But people haven't talked like that at least a generation, if not two, removed. Especially not just in conversation. But I don't think that there's anything I don't know what I'm wanting to say. I don't know how to say what I mean.
well, if you figure it out, we'll circle back.
Yeah. We'll circle back around to that. Jen Psaki, everybody.
She was definitely one of the worst so-called press cemeteries. I don't think she was the worst, though. Or at least not the dumbest, anyway.
I guess what I was trying to say is that I don't think there are a bunch of white people walking around every day like just looking to like get back at black people. Like, I don't want quote unquote reverse racism. Like, it's not a get even on the scoreboard thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like I don't know anybody walking around waiting, I've been secretly talking about that they're waiting for the like WP revival or whatever, South Rise again, any of that. And most of the folks I know that have anything to do with the rebel flag, it's a and I know that people say it's a dog whistle or whatever, but they genuinely it's a pride, it's a heritage, not a white power thing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I
Yeah,
don't
that
live
was,
in Alabama or Mississippi or Georgia, so I mean, I don't live in the deep South, and we're not into licking our sisters and all that. But that
that
same
was
grandfather I was referencing, he literally grew up like dirt floor poor. Like both
mhm.
he and my grandmother grew up as kids of sharecroppers. Like my great grandfather, my grandmother's dad, um, the first house that he built, it was attached to the trunk of a tree so that they could use the tree as additional cover. And all the kids had to go out in the field and pick cotton or pick beans. Or there was a couple years that he had some fruit trees. Picked peaches and apples for a guy.
that was one thing my mom always instilled in me was her childhood of they would wait down at the bottom of their road for a vehicle to come by in the morning, and it would be a local farmer picking up all the young kids because obviously it was before we had child labor laws and stuff in place, and they would just take them to the farm, and they would sit there and they would pick various kinds of berries, and I believe she got, I think it was like 10 cents per, I don't know if it was per pound or per like, I don't think it was per container. I think it was per pound. And then they also picked strawberries, but they got paid a quarter per pound.
Hmm. That was probably a lot of money then.
Yeah. Well, it was equivalent of like several dollars anyway at the time. But it was a way for them to bring in some extra cash for my grandmother, who, well, both grandparents actually, because they were very poor.
Depending on the approximate time frame that you're referring to, it
It
might have
would
been
have
more than
been
several dollars.
it would have been the early 1950s, like probably like 55 or 6 maybe. Yeah, I think it was roughly around there, 55, 56, 57 maybe.
Just look and see. I like going to the inflation calculator because anytime somebody comes into the store and starts scrapping about what something costs now and that they can remember buying it back whenever. All right, so $1.56 would have the same buying power as $11.93 today. So that was pretty good money. You're motivated. You could pick. I mean, if you just got a whole strawberry patch, you could pick several pounds pretty quick. That'd make all right money.
Yeah, like I said, they weren't getting paid a ton, but they were getting paid like just enough to keep out of complete poverty, is what it was. To where everybody actually had something to eat that day.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think I showed everything that Hondo had from last week to now saved up. So
Oh, that's good.
we don't have too many people watching that'll be over there on his. So
Yeah.
we didn't totally ruin the concept of his whole show. I don't want to yell at the camera, but he does a better job of just saying his thoughts. But
Yeah, I completely redid a couple of my AR setups now. I had angled foregrips on them, and now I end up getting in some. I forget what they're actually called. They're more of like the stopper ones or whatever that go directly to
and
the
stop.
yeah, go directly to the rail. I like them quite a bit actually compared to the angle foregrips and the extra piece of rail needed. So that's going to be how at least my main is set up now. So
Hey Don, you didn't miss a whole lot. You're just in time. Heyo from Pat Riot, signing off.
yeah, one dude who NEA was talking about the other day that I had posted in his chat that's running for Michigan governor. Apparently, that guy is running as a Republican, but I think it's only because of the two-party system in all these states is what it is. Because I really think he's more of a libertarian than anything else. And that really is what that state needs right now to pull out of all the Democrat fuckery that Whitmer put him through right now. So hopefully that dude actually wins, but who knows?
Hopefully.
I'm sure the establishment will keep him down, just like they do with everybody else anymore. Vivek at this point has pretty much already won the Ohio governor's race next year without even having to go through the primaries or anything like that because Yost dropped out of the primary.
Huh.
And then immediately endorsed Vivek is what it was. So, which I think my biggest gripe with that dude is like the fact that he is a self-admitted anchor baby at this point. I'm just like, dude, like, how are you going to sit there and say that and then act like it's not a big fucking deal to potential voters? But I don't know.
Have you seen the new Holosun ARO?
I have not.
That's their new micro, like 24 millimeter dot.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's one thing I don't really pay too much attention to is optic stuff. Mostly because of my budget being very, very low compared to some of the prices of some of these things. If you're talking, it's not coming through on my end.
Good catch. Thank you. What I was saying is that you can get the dot only, like the red, green, or gold dot for like 160 muffins, or you can get the multi reticle for like 199 muffins. It's a aim point micro pattern mount, like the 515 used to be. What they've done, they've kind of met in the middle on price point and features between the 403s and the 515s. They've done away with the quick release mount and gone to just that stronger hex nut.
Yeah.
And then you have the uncapped turrets. Includes that I-beam style mount in a 163 height, or the low mount. Like really on this MP5, it ought to just go ahead and have the low mount, but whatever. Well, there's all the stuff right there. There's all the features. I know. Hollis China. China is asshole. But they're crushing it in the optic space.
That's one thing
Donald
I
Trump,
do.
Don't trust China. China is asshole.
That's one thing I do wish that a lot of American states would get more into. Is just manufacturing on optics at this point. Because I feel like not only could we do something for a similar price like this, we could also do a lot of those like cheap ones that China does on like Amazon and stuff like that, but do them as a better quality is what it is.
Pat Riot says FRTs are back on the menu. He wants one and everything. I haven't decided for myself if I wholly understand all of that yet. I'm not sure that they're truly back on the menu. I think that the two parties have just parlayed and have agreed to not pursue one another, as I understand it. Like it's not actually a definitively settled thing like bump stocks.
Yeah, it's like a weird mix of some kind, as far as I'm aware, from everything I've heard.
Welcome, Gen X Gemini.
I know that Gunners of America is trying to deal with the crap going on in Congress right now with the Short Act and all that stuff like that too.
Yes. Pass the Short Act. Call your Congress critters. Demand that they pass it. Tell them you're a single issue voter.
I mean, for me personally, I'm a constitutional rights voter at this point in history.
Yeah, but now is our time. We're not ever going to have this moment in time again if we don't act on it. And the Republican Party is the party of say a lot and do little. If we don't push back, we're not ever going to chip away. You know, we were at this point at the start of 2017, and then the thing happened in Las Vegas that there were no bump stocks used, and they banned bump stocks. And we were right on the cusp of passing the Hearing Protection Act, and then that event occurred where there were no silencers used, and all it took was a couple of Republicans to lose their gumption, and we didn't have enough to get the vote through. So if we don't act now, we're not going to have it again. The pendulum will eventually swing the other way. We won't have a united Congress.
Yeah,
Later, Andrew. Have a good night.
From my understanding, with everything happened after Vegas and all that stuff like that, it was also the fact that it was supposed to be passing the Senate, the Hearing Protection Act was, and then that piece of shit Mitch McConnell let it sit on his desk and just rot for 6 months until midterms.
Yeah. That's why I said we've got to go on the offensive. If we don't, well, we've got it. If we don't mash some stuff through,
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't even want that compromise where they say, well, we'll remove the tax, because it's not even about the tax at this point. I mean, it is, because taxation is theft. It's a poll tax, essentially.
Mhm.
So it ought to be unconstitutional. It's the registry.
Yes.
And I would be willing to concede for now if they reclassified silencers as Title I firearms and treated them just like they would if you walked in and bought a pistol or whatever, like fine B-21 and fill out a 4473. But that would be as much as I'm willing to compromise. Otherwise, I just want them removed altogether, and I want them to be accessories and outside the purview of the ATF.
I think for my personal gripe with it all is you look at the NFA itself, it is literally the last remnant of prohibition in this country. And it's the first thing that should have been done away with when prohibition ended. And the fact that it's been going strong for 90 something years now is fucking ridiculous.
Well, that was literally the point of it. It was the government never voluntarily shrinks itself. And once prohibition ended, you had all of these federal agents that were tasked with catching rum runners, and they had to go after the people that, they prohibition set up organized crime. And so then when prohibition ended, you already had the mob and stuff set up now.
Mhm.
And they needed all these agents. They need an excuse to keep going after these guys. So then that's why they passed the NFA.
Yeah.
And regular standard handguns were supposed to be on there in the initial draft. And then they realized that wasn't going to be popular because, not that handgun ownership was uncommon then, but it wasn't as common now. But there were, pistols were the gun of the white collar man, like the guy, the banker, the shopkeeper, that kind of guy
Yeah.
that came and went with sums of cash then, before credit cards. And they knew that was going to be wildly unpopular. And that's why they had to go back later and delineate with the Gun Control Act of '68. They needed to get rid of the cheap guns. They didn't want minorities and poor people having concealable handguns. And the reason for the tax in 34 was because they knew that it would be unconstitutional, but it was a way to put a barrier to entry for poor people.
Yeah. It also happened to coincide with the exact price of what a Tommy gun was at the time.
And that was an expensive gun then. They were wildly expensive.
Yeah, because I mean, $200 in 34 was what, like several thousand now.
If you buy a non-NFA new manufacturer commercial model from somebody like Auto Ordnance, the car group, I want to say that they're 16, 18, somewhere in there. MSRP is more than that, but I think that's what they actually end up selling for. And they suck.
Well, no, I'm saying with like an inflation calculation.
I don't know. I guess I need to keep the calculator pulled up. Let's see here. We'll go back to 1934 and just see. And we'll do one better. We'll do like 33 and see. You're asserting it was $200 then?
Yes.
All right. I don't think that's wrong, but I don't know if that's exactly right. But we'll run with that number and see. Holy shit. That'd be over $5,000 today.
Jesus.
I guess we're glad that they didn't ever put anything in there to adjust the
Yeah, the pricing or whatever.
the tax to keep up with inflation. That would have a lot of people pissed.
Yeah.
And when you look at it through that lens, that really puts into perspective both how prohibitive that tax was meant to be
Hmm.
then, but then it also tells you now how much they fucked you out of your money.
Yeah.
They have devalued our currency to that extreme. So that ought to make you like doubly mad.
Well, you also got to think too. That was back in the time of what was it, the silver standard, or is it called the gold standard back then?
They took us off the gold standard just before World War One, wasn't it? I don't know. I'm not wealthy.
I thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was.
The Jekyll Island thing was before we got into World War One.
Yeah. Well, I know technically we were still printing silver coins until I believe it was 65. So we might not technically been on a gold standard anymore. We would have still had silver backed currency is what it is at the time. So yeah, like that would make sense that it would be the inflation difference and stuff like that then. But
yeah, and Thompson was an expensive submachine gun of its day, automatic rifle. Or
yep.
we're pulling in the numbers tonight. We got 2 people watching.
Yeah, and the other one was what, the BAR at the time?
I mean, there was other stuff. BARs. There were some of the automatic Lugers. I doubt anybody stateside had one, but the Villaparosa was already around. That was World War One gun. MP-18. Trying to think if there's anything domestically. There were, by 34, all the first generation SMGs had kind of come and gone. All the like expensive made ones, everybody had figured out that like, all right, these are good enough. Let's figure out how to make these cheaper so we can make a bunch of them. Because they had recognized that they had limited range, but they were great for like clearing out trenches or, entering structures or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I've often thought about like different wars and stuff like that, how it's like different generations of warfare. And what if like each generation was like one generation above that, and how much different things would be?
We always go into war with the weapons to fight the last war. because you don't know what this war is going to look like yet.
Yeah. Because I know when the whole Russia-Ukraine thing kicked off a few years ago now, it was everybody thought it was going to be like fourth, fifth generation warfare, and then it turned out to be like back to like first and second generation. Except the difference was there's like drones going into trenches now and killing people.
Yeah, they got you got trenches and drones and tanks, and I think the only reason that it looks like it does is because neither side really controls the air.
Yeah.
You know, we've sent enough man pads that the Russians, um, are scared to commit any more helicopters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think really they're jets in limited numbers.
Probably.
So there's not been a modern combined arms use of weapons. Like they're not fighting a conventional war. That's why you've seen the stalemate too.
Yeah.
If one side were truly able to commit combined arms. Now I think that this conflict has shown that artillery will continue to be a thing longer than tanks will. Because artillery is what has made for the great artillery has helped draw the lines, and it's what stopped the progress of each other's vehicles. You know, especially since that ordnance has not been able to be delivered by air power.
Yeah, for sure. Well, not only that, but also, I mean, when you look at all these NATO countries that handed stuff to Ukraine, and it's just like a mix of whatever they had left over.
Well, it's that, and then it was also, a bunch of stuff that they were able to buy commercially. We weren't the only ones. Everybody thinks that when we sent aid, that we just sent them pallets of money. The normies think that. It's like, no, we didn't send them pallets of money. I mean, not exclusively. I wouldn't fool myself that we didn't send some pallets of money. But what happened was Congress passed that allotment of spending of made up money that we just snapped our fingers and made exist. And then we sell them, air quotes, our old stuff, and then we make new for us.
Yeah.
But then also some of that money was used to just buy whatever commercial off the shelf shit was available.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the issue that a lot of people had, myself included, was the fact that some of the stuff that we were selling or sending over that way was stuff we actually needed ourselves. And from my understanding, at least some of the weapons that were taken were literally taken out of American soldiers' hands and handed to Ukraine at that point. Like the various rifles that were like recoilless and stuff like that.
Talking about like Carl Gustav's?
I'm not sure what exactly it was, but I know it was some kind of recoilless rifle that was sent over there, and it was only taken out of like like special operators' hands and handed to Ukraine.
We can replace the individual launchers quicker than we can the hundreds of thousands of artillery shells.
Well, not only that, but it's also a lot of our missiles and stuff like that are one use, or not one use, but they're one manufacturer in this country that makes them.
It's Carl Gustav's, I think, are manufactured in Sweden. And then the UK makes the oh shit, I can't think. Bum, 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 bum. Saab makes the in-law,
Okay.
and then um, yeah, and the Carl Gustav recoilless rifle, yeah, is made in Sweden, which is oddly Saab again.
That is strange.
Of course, everything recoilless rifle has been called the Carl Gustav since 1942, so they've just gotten bigger and bigger.
So they become a conglomerate.
Every time I hear recoilless rifle, I think of the movie Uncommon Valor, says Gen X Gemini. I don't think I've seen that movie.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like one I've seen ever.
'83.
Oh yeah, that was before my time. So
Gene Hackman, Patrick
uh,
Swayze. Some other people.
yeah. Yeah, I would say Swayze's probably most known role would have had to been um,
Wolverines.
yes. My mind is completely blanking off tonight.
I would say it was probably Dirty Dancing, but
Oh, yeah, I guess I could
there's
see
not
that.
enough women here to admit that.
Yeah. Well
George
then this
Cortez. He's
well,
dogpiling a minute.
I guess technically you could say C. Thomas Howell's biggest role would be the previously mentioned movies. So and then of course when you look at all of that, that was how Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze actually met, was on the set of Red Dawn. And I think that's why she was also cast for Dirty Dancing then after the fact.
Hmm. Hello, George. I'm just trying to hold it down until Honda sends out the notification. Hopefully he's going live. He said before or after her nose job.
I mean, I know it was 87 was the Dirty Dancing movie '84 was Red Dawn. I'm not sure. So if it was sometime in between that or not.
Man, she's not aged well.
Yeah, there's a lot of those actresses that hit like a brick wall basically with their face.
Or it's like she had so much plastic surgery done that it's made her look like they do too much, and it makes them look
Uh-huh.
masculine as they get older. I
Yeah.
guess like they're two tone. Like I would rather them just age with grace, maybe a little here, a little there, you know. But like they get too into it,
Well, it's kind of like
mess up their jawbones and over define their cheeks and stuff.
Joan Rivers. Yeah, Joan Rivers at the end of her life. Um, if you actually looked at her face, she looked like she was literally wearing someone else's face over her own. Like a creepy alien or something.
Joan Rivers, man, she did a bunch, but she also like she didn't give no fucks.
Yeah.
I think that was all for her and
Probably.
her 7 or 8 husbands or whatever. No,
Yeah.
I'm getting her mixed up with what's the other woman that's really old? Is it Joan Rivers? It may have been Joan Rivers, the one that like had her own episode of Scooby Doo. Let's see here. It was Joan Rivers.
Okay.
No, hang on. Let's see. Let's see. Celebrity episode of Scooby Doo. Who were all the people that? There were like a bunch of people that had like celebrity appearances, like cameos in that's the new Scooby Doo.
Uh-huh.
I say new, I don't know what to actually call it. Like they were old when we were kids, but like new compared to the very
Yeah,
original.
like the new Adventures or whatever it's called of Scooby Doo or some shit like that. Yeah, there's a lot of those ones that were from that era and whatnot. And I mean, well, that's the thing, they keep making it, remaking it, and then remaking it.
They had like Cass
For-
Elliot. I remember that. Don Knotts. Oh shit, where is it? Who was it? Phyllis Diller. That's who I was thinking of. Okay, yeah, she's the one that had like 7 or 8 husbands or whatever. I'm getting her mixed up with Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke. Or a bunch of them that made appearances on Scooby Doo. Globetrotters. Oh, a wild tactical muffin top has appeared.
What's up?
Everybody give a like for Tactical Muffin Top. My channel could use it after not having any content for a couple weeks.
I think we should like, share, sub to Lawfully Armed Takeover Stream and Ohio Patriot. What's up, Ohio? We got some interesting thunderstorms around here and tornadoes, and hail seems to be going around us. So
Yeah, we had a rough thunderstorm last night. Power went out for, I don't know, I laid awake for about an hour when it happened. And then went ahead and did the text thing, whatever, to make sure that submit my outage for my area, because it's kind of like calling 911. You can't trust somebody else to do it. You got to do it.
right.
So I went ahead and did that and got the text alert. And then we all just tried to lay down and go back to sleep. I think about an hour and a half later, I was asleep. and then when I woke up the first time about 6:37, it was back on. So I don't know how long it was actually out. But it was getting it last night. It was raining hard enough it sounded like small hail.
There's been all kinds of tornadoes and thunderstorms all over the state of Ohio in the last like week and a half.
Yeah. There's
And
some crazy ones, man.
the one the other day, it knocked out power to my apartment here for about probably 5 minutes or less. Thankfully, it wasn't anywhere longer than that because I was sitting in a reclining chair that's electric powered, and once the power goes out, the chair cannot be moved down. So
Sounds like a flaw.
yeah, it's not the greatest option, but it was my mom wanted at the time. So I mean, if I needed to, I could literally like reposition my body to like get out of the chair, but it would be kind of a pain in the ass to do it while it's still up. So
Yep. It's what I miss. I haven't been able to watch the stream. I'm sorry.
We've just been topic hopping. Nothing
Yeah.
serious. Biden's got cancer.
Yeah.
But you know that he had at least a year ago. So they were going to run him as president knowing he had it. I bet you, hindsight being 2020, I bet that's why they yanked him out last minute. They're like, shit, he's going to like croak. So they went ahead and pulled him at the last minute. I would guarantee that that's why.
Yeah, they're gonna use that to call off some of the dementia or whatever, and then yeah, they're gonna exit him stage left.
Well, like Missouri said that the reason for announcing it now was to take some of the fire out of going after him for the auto pin stuff, you know, for them signing all of those pardons or whatever while he was out of it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Between all the bridge stuff and the boats and the Middle Eastern talks and the Biden thing, and there was something else.
Mexico's Navy hitting the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, that's crazy.
With their masts, which is not the same as like a cargo ship hitting the Francis Scott Key Bridge. It's like not even the same level of concern, but
Right. Like they already
it happens. So you've got to shut it until you get the bridge authority or whoever to go out there and make a safety inspection at least. But
right.
how about we just extend the Remain in Mexico policy to Mexico's vessels?
I agree with that.
Han doesn't have a chat schedule, but he's live on Discord. So
Is he doing a chat tonight or?
I don't know. I DM'd him a few minutes ago asking him. I totally am ready to jump off and hand it over to him. We wouldn't have ran long last week and stole his thunder. We were just catching up with Mac. Hadn't heard from him, and it was good to hear him talk.
Yeah.
I'm sure that made his day.
You know, yeah. I mean, he's just stuck in a hospital bed getting surgery after surgery. It's not like he can do anything else anyway, you know? Like, yeah, I'll talk to Mac. I feel bad for him. I'd want somebody to talk to me if I was laid up in a hospital bed, and you know, especially because sounds like he was kind of held up without family where he was because he was driving out and then kind of hung up in high water and just rolled into the next hospital kind of deal. So that sucks.
Yep.
Yeah, I felt bad. Hopefully he's doing better. So
Pat's watching a movie. He
Pat's
jumped
watching a
in for just
movie
a
instead
second.
of hopping in here.
He's with his family. I understand it.
Oh, all right, that's good.
We talked about the Holosun ARO, the new line of red dots that they're doing.
Are they all enclosed emitters?
They are. They're rifle dots, not
Oh, cool. I seen
kind of.
Sealy has an enclosed pistol dot now. You see that?
Expect everyone to.
Right.
It's a
That's
pretty
nice.
simple recipe. Just add an extra pane of glass.
Right. I think it's superior. I always had to clean my other one, which you could still see it if it was dirty, but what's everybody been doing to get better?
Admittedly, not a whole lot.
Oh, you're grounded.
I know. I have been. It's a internal head battle every day.
I've started eating salads on a regular basis now.
Good.
I'm down about 6 ounces from the last time I checked my weight.
You're weighing yourself in ounces?
No. I was doing the actual weight calculation of how much I lost since my previous weigh-in. That was only like around 6 ounces or so.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
There you
It
go.
should have been a lot more than it was, but unfortunately, I think it's because I'm still partially eating processed stuff too. So I need to get on track to get that out of the system is what it is, and get more into buying and making prep meals and stuff like that now in the next month or two. I
Nice.
hope I can keep getting on my weight loss
Gen
goal
X
for the year.
Gemini. Gen X Gemini said he's been hitting the Bowflex trying to get shit organized. He definitely has been hitting the Bowflex.
Yep, I seen his
Saw that. He's
videos.
been getting that.
Good
Makes me
work,
want to find
Peter.
one.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a Bowflex. It's like a bench, and it has like it doesn't have like the weights and stuff. It's like a pulley system deal, and it all folds up real tight to the wall. I got to get it installed. I did a 4-hour plumbing job that should have taken an hour, and that was a fucking nightmare. So that was great. I got one of my garden beds planted. I got them all cleaned up, and I got some paper from a guy that he puts like this paper down for the state, and they that's what they like plant trees and stuff in the ditches, and then they put like the grass and that woven stuff like the seed over that, and then like no weeds can grow through it, all up and down like the highways and the interstates. So he hooked me up with some of that stuff. You just take a torch and burn a hole in it, and then you plant your plant in there, and then it's a pretty good weed barrier. So he said they last for a few years, so I'm going to see if I can keep just replanting in the same holes and see how well it works out. So that's exciting. Got to do a review on this little 2-cylinder tiller I use. It's pretty great for raised beds.
Pat jumped in long enough to talk about the FRTs and say that they're back on the menu and that he wants one for everything. I don't know that that's exactly trying to keep up with the gun lawyer side of YouTube. I'm not exactly sure that that's the outcome. I don't know that they're free and clear back on the menu. I think that just in that district, the outcome of the opposing lawsuits was they agreed to just parlay and walk away from it for now. Either side could renege on their promise and it could be back in the courts again. So Not a lawyer, not your lawyer. Don't steal my legal advice. Yada yada. Whatever standard preface.
Right.
I don't recommend that anybody listening to this right now procures one firsthand and then films themselves mag dumping with it. I would hate for you to be the instigation of your own prosecution.
Yeah, I just seen a video on one today from a guy that we all know, and I don't want to say the name, but I hope they.
And then I don't know why. I don't know why the fuck you would want to spend what they cost to own one to say, hey, I have one, because that's the only reason you would do it if you're not able to own it free and clear. Because then
Right.
you've got to, you know, you have it, but you can't play with it. You can't go tune it and get it running right without living in fear. Yeah, it's the whole thing. Like,
Yeah,
if
that's
they're definitively legal, like a binary trigger, like a Franklin binary, or the, you know, now the bump stocks are legal again. Like one of those, they have limited appeal too.
right,
But
and they're all trying to do something. They're trying to skirt around something, but they're not 100% reliable. And quite frankly, even if you did have one, like yeah, the most would be to provide cover. But do most people have the logistics to keep one of those things up and running like long term? Like, could you keep it running for a year if you were mag dumping mags after mags after mags for cover fire?
you would just swap uppers or move
Well,
it over or
yeah,
whatever.
I don't care
And it's
about that.
not,
I'm just talking strictly just ammo. Like, realistically, if you figure most people carry 8 to 10 mags on them, you're probably going to carry more than that. Maybe a couple D60s, a couple 40 rounds, whatever. So you're probably going to go ahead and just figure you're bumping out 1,000 rounds every time you really need to break contact with that thing. I would rather use that new ammo that's like super fucking high end and just pop the guy. Like if you had a 20, well, you don't even need a 20-inch AR with those, but like compared to just the cheapest fucking ammo you can buy, you could actually shoot somebody in the pelvic fucking girdle because nobody wears fucking armor down there and be on your merry way because that guy is fucking down for the count. One round opposed to fucking shitting out 1,000 rounds. You know what I mean? Like that's how I look at it, but I need to get me some of that ammo.
aim fire is best fire.
Yeah. I mean, I understand, but at the same time, how many of us are, you know, decent enough to lay down some suppressive fire with just your standard freaking semi-auto? Okay, worst case scenario, you have a second guy help you. You know what I mean? That'd be better anyway. 2 crossfire. I'm working on some stuff I'm really excited to bring to the channel, but I have to let this stuff shake loose before it happens. But it's going to be a lot more video content for you guys. So that's exciting.
Military Arms Channel just announced on Instagram that he and several other gun tubers are filming a TV show.
Ooh, that's cool.
I commented Shield TV. We'll see how long it is before Mac blocks me.
Why? I don't understand this.
It's him, Mr. Guns and Gear, Such, 22 Plinkster, and Eric from Iraq Veteran 8888.
Oh Lord.
So it's a bunch of the old school YouTubers, but it's all of the ones that have turned into like super shills.
Yeah, they're the Billy Mays of the prepping world. I know. If only they would have got nothing fancy in there. They just call themselves Canadian Prepper 2.0. Well, there you go. Just go ahead. Oh, US based.
I would say that I hold nothing in higher regard than the rest of those guys from that advertising sense, but he also has a super inflated ego.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, I understand what you're talking about on the logistic side of the FRT, like having the ammo to keep it running and yada yada.
Right.
Remember, there are people that have enough money that they already legitimately own legal machine guns. Not
Yeah.
everybody is poor like us. There
Yeah.
are people above our level.
Which is good.
And to the point that you are locking down a true like fire team size element, if not an entire squad. We're talking 8 to 12 guys. Like, it's not unreasonable when you're to that level of an element to have one guy as your dedicated air quote LMG. That's how you.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It'll never be my rule because my body is not made for that.
That's fine.
Accept it.
And nobody says that you have to physically like hump it around either. Like, there are guys welding up, like right now, there are guys welding up cradles to make like a rack and pinion with the butterfly triggers for an AR.
Right. For technicals. That would be sweet.
You could have that in the back of your Ford F-150 or whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't drive an F-150 myself, but
that's why I said F-150, just to get you going on that.
Yeah. Honestly, if I was going to buy a half-ton today, I wouldn't buy any modern truck. But I would have to tip my hat to the Toyotas at the moment. They are pretty good. Now, that being said, I would just go ahead and buy a 3/4 ton.
Fiend Dog's in the chat. Fiend Dog,
Fiend
you got a
Dog?
link if you want to jump in.
Yeah, man. You've been busy. You've been working. He hadn't hopped on a few chats lately.
Oh, Gen X Gemini, what about Harleys?
They have an electric Harley now.
Buy a Harley, buy the best. Ride a mile, walk the rest.
There you go.
That's why them guys trailer them all over the country to the different bike shows.
Right. And they drive it a couple blocks and then go to the next bar. Sorry, I'm typing some shit.
It's 9:26
Preoccupied.
Central Time. I would imagine if Honda was doing a thing, he would have at least scheduled it by now.
Yeah, I don't know if he's been working a lot lately or what's going on. Do you know anything, Ohio?
No.
I swear I sent him an invite. Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry, Fiend Dog. I didn't send you one.
You monster.
Now he's got one. He wasn't online earlier. I went down through there and hit everybody that was online.
I wasn't on one.
Your status was like on standby or whatever.
Weird.
Little half moon. Kind of like never enough ammo with us, but I didn't send him one because I don't think he knows me from Adam. But
Yeah, he probably don't know you. He'd probably be like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
that's all right. You rode Tactical Muffin Top from Arizona to Indiana and back?
Jeez.
He's a 92 model.
I didn't even
He's
get
broke.
paid.
He's broke down.
That's true.
I messaged Honda again. Let him know that if he's doing a thing, we got him warmed up for him. We fluffed for him.
Fluffing it out, baby. Make sure you like, share, sub to eHonda 420.
And Ohio Patriot.
I said that. I said that when I came in.
I know. But he's been here the whole time, helped me hold it down.
Good work.
I think we peaked at maybe 5 people watching the first 10 minutes, and then it's just been a rotating door of 2 or 3 since then. Really pulling them numbers in. Them fishermen.
Well, at least you're good at catching something. I probably misspelled that. I'm so stupid. I hate spelling.
Stage 4 colon cancer.
Yeah. It's treatable. The fact that it's gotten there and they're just now revealing it's a little sus, but I think that they're just going to let him, wither off into the winds. That way he doesn't get any charges. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, he can't be charged because he's dead, and he can't testify because he's dead, and he can't do anything because, he's dead.
Because he passed.
Yeah. Well, chat, give us a topic. How's that going?
Good. So good.
Well, let's talk about what's on your brain there, Lawfully. How's your week been? I see you put that video up blasting your bodyguard on Instagram.
Some pictures. Masturbating with a cheese grater.
What?
Well, yeah, you got to. That's how you get those calluses off your hand.
No. I don't have to do any of that.
That way you got the supple touch of a woman.
No. 400 grit sandpaper. Don't be a savage.
Oh, there's no harm if there's a little blood in there, too.
Oh, my God.
Like the first time, every time.
Oh, my God. I thought my chat's devolved.
I bet Gen X is rolling now.
A little bit of mayo never hurt nobody. That was for Gen X.
Mayo's better than the tangy zip of Miracle Whip.
No, don't even fucking play, dog. Miracle Whip is the shit.
What? Say that again.
Miracle Whip is the shit.
For faggots.
What?
I agree. You're right.
No.
So when did you know you were gay?
I don't know what's happening right here, but this is some internet dick monery. I can tell you that. What is a media kit PDF? Is that like a link to YouTube?
What?
I don't fucking know either. I'm dumb. I'm done with the internet.
Bean Dog in the house.
Hey.
I always knew TMT was a queer.
Oh my God. That's how you come in swinging?
I'm just fucking playing.
That's good.
Don't yell at me. Lawfully was just calling you that before. He used the F
know.
word.
I know. You guys are being a little bit spicy tonight. If I do a chat, I might have to spank you guys.
I just got done watching a gay ass Last
You
of
got
Us.
done munching a gay ass? Jeez, dude.
Yeah. No, watching the gay ass Last of Us.
You don't like it, huh?
This season's so
I haven't honestly watched any more TV than, like, I've been watching some Pokemon with my kid and, like, Peppa Pig and Paw Patrol and shit. I honestly don't watch TV.
it's the one thing I watch. That's it. Otherwise, I don't watch TV very often, except for right now watching Forged in Fire. I like this show.
Hell yeah, I have shows I like. I just don't have fucking time to watch TV. I don't know how people fucking watch TV all the goddamn time. I was outside all fucking day working. And before that, I was working on a plumbing job and a drywall job the day before. And then tomorrow, I got to get a break and go to fucking work. That's my break, is going to work.
Well, there you go. You know, I've been working out in my yard every day this week and all that, trying to get the yard in halfway decent shape. You know, trying to grow grass.
I did have some beers with a buddy who came here to work on somebody else's house, so I did get to catch up with him though, because he's usually not around in town. So me and R got to hang out with that guy, and that's good. Catch up, smoke a cigar, and have a few beers, and then go to bed.
I'm in the process of getting my saltwater fishing gear ready for a fluke season that opened up, so I had to reline a couple poles.
You're gonna Are you gonna like vacuum seal one of these fillets and send it to me so I can try this amazing fish that you have a boner for?
No, I'm not sending them over to you because it will cost me a fortune with dry ice and all that.
Okay, I'll just have to
Otherwise,
believe
I
in you.
would, but you know, the saltwater fish tastes so much better than freshwater fish. By the way, I'm just saying.
I don't know. I do get salmon and halibut fun from Alaska because I have a family up there and they have a cabin. So if anybody goes to Alaska, let me know. I can get you a discount.
Salmon's one of the worst tasting fish you ever eat in your life.
You shut your fucking mouth. I like salmon.
Yeah, and it's a garbage fish.
No, man. When it's smoked, it's so good. It takes that smoke flavor so well.
It does. That's the only way I'll eat it. It really does take the smoke good.
It does.
And you know it's done when all the white fat starts coming out of it.
Do you do scale side or do you peel that off?
The what?
Do you do the skin?
Yeah, I leave the skin on.
Yeah, same. That shit's so good.
That's what makes that fat ooze out.
That is the best. I don't know. Some people like peel the skin off. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? That's where all the that's where the fat is. That's how you make sure it doesn't stick to whatever the fuck you have it on.
Yeah, exactly. But all my other fish I eat and all that, I skin it.
Yeah, same.
But that for some reason them and trout I don't skin.
Yeah, I don't skin trout either.
You don't like
I
your
do.
fish with hair?
No, lawfully, you dingus.
I like a hairy fish.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hey man, I remember the 80s.
I don't.
Thought Bush was the 70s.
It was 80s and early 90s also.
It's been clean trim over here since I was able to do stuff.
What's this, the 2000s for you?
Yeah, 92 is when I was born, so it was a little bit after that before I was like, oh yeah, come here, Twin Peaks.
See, 92, I was already looking at all those nice Playboys.
Oh man, Penthouse is way better.
Cherry was better than them all.
All right,
So
there you go.
when you
Great,
talk
great
about
stream.
the 80s, because you sound like you're 18.
You do sound like you're 18.
I wish I was 18.
You
My
know,
back
your
wouldn't hurt.
voice, I don't know what I was imagining in my head, but after seeing you, I'm like, dude, that doesn't even match up. But so I think that's fake. Dude, I agree. Lawfully, he's 18.
I'm not. I'm about to be 44.
Oh my god.
You're 18 at heart.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I think I'm young. I act young, but I'm not young.
It's all right. It's okay.
I've decided I'm
Stay
gonna
young.
wait till I die.
You what?
I'm not gonna lie. Now that I'm almost 44, I'm actually, when I was trout fishing, wading the river and the creek by myself, I was a little concerned because you can't see or anything, you know. I'm by myself without a partner. I was like, I should have somebody here in case you fall in, you know.
I agree.
But no, I went and did it by myself, and I caught fish.
Yeah, there's a couple gigs. That one place that's fucking heavily infested with coyotes. The guy told me literally there's probably 100 to 200 of them packed up right now, and it's calving season, and they're just fucking eating this dude's calves clean. Like this guy is gonna lose a shitload of money. And I'm like, dude, it is spring. The fact that they are packed up that bad and nobody like, why haven't you called fucking Predator Quest or something? And he's like, oh yeah, I have a guy that shoots him. It's just my buddy, and he comes out whenever he wants. I'm like, dude, you need to have these things fucking, or you need to have like 30 people out here fucking shooting these guys every fucking night to get rid of these. Like this population's fucking insane. I won't go to that place by myself. I'll die. I'm delicious looking. If I fall in a badger hole or something, I'm dead.
Plenty of meat on you.
Yeah, definitely that.
Not as much as a year ago, though, but plenty of meat.
Oh, it's just less fat. There's more. Still, probably a little bit more meat. Just less fat.
I hear you. I don't know. Why don't you go up there and help the guy out?
Because it's fucking an hour away, and then by the time I get the fuck out there, the guy that comes out and does it. He actually has a thermal scope, so he can see without out to like 400 or 500 yards. Well, my clip-on can only do 200, and you got to be out there right at like the sweet spot, like 10 to 10:30, 11, somewhere in there. So it's an hour drive out there for me, away from my family, in the middle of nowhere, wasting the gas. The guy's not paying me for it yet, so I haven't done that yet. I'm like, hey man, I'll come out, but you're gonna have to get me like a nuisance tag or something, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit like one or two with the thermal, and I'm gonna turn my weapon light on, and fucking magnum these fucking horde of coyotes you have.
Well, what do you get paid per hide out there?
No, nothing right now. If it was like a really good year, like 8 years ago, $100 a coyote, but like they're not even breaking $25. That's why nobody's shooting them. It's not worth shooting.
Well, I would think it's time to try to figure out how to eat them.
No, I would.
Why not?
definitely
Don't say no.
I would. There's no way you could pay me to eat a coyote.
Why not?
No.
Say you were
Disgusting
starving to
creatures.
death.
They're disease ridden. If I was
Say you were
starving to death,
starving to death.
yeah, I would eat one maybe.
Why don't you just try to eat one? You know,
I don't
spice
want
it
to
up
eat
a
one.
little
I won't
bit.
eat a
See what it
possum
tastes
either.
like.
Well, you know what? You let me know. You get the cuisine figured out, and with your charcoal grill, and you get the perfect recipe, and I will attempt.
The movie's over.
I don't kill anything unless I'm going to eat it.
Pat Wright, everybody.
That's wrong. What's up, Pat?
It's
Hey,
too
Patty.
close to a dog. It's too close to a dog. I don't think I could eat it.
Yeah, I'm
You've
not trying to
eaten
eat.
dogs before if you had Chinese and all that.
And
No, it was a cat.
like I'd be worried about the parasites.
Yeah, they get They get a
That's the
lot of
only
message.
worry. That's why you have to eat it in the winter, I would think. That's also
I don't
why
know.
Tractor Supply sells ivermectin.
Yeah, keep that on the DL. People are scooping that shit up now.
They got the
So I did
top
do.
that you put on your skin. You got the powder form that you mix up with the water you drink.
But hey, you know what? I went to Bumgard's today, and they actually had a few chickens left. They had 6. They had like 50 chicks there, but they were already all sold except for 6 of them, and they weren't the chicks I wanted. So I'm about to order.
I want to get some ducks. That's what I want to get.
Yeah, apparently that makes the best pasta. Is what somebody who has ducks tells me. She makes homemade pasta, and her
Well,
pasta.
I got a 5.5 pound duck. I'm gonna cook tomorrow.
Ooh, I don't like duck.
It's all right. It's not the best, but it's not bad.
So I did do something cool today.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
He went to Walmart.
No. This is a stand-in because I used what I had of the brown rice, but I did 1 pack of the microwave brown rice, 1 can of this fully cooked roast beef in the tin,
Yeah.
and 1 of these Velveeta pouches.
Yeah.
Just did that in the skillet with a little Italian seasoning, little spicy donos, and made like a Philly cheesesteak rice.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Pretty damn good.
Sounds pretty good there, Lawfully. That's a prep meal. Now you just got to stock 52 of those, and you can have that once a week, and shit hits the fan.
Hey, I'm a big fan and advocate of that Keystone beef.
Yeah, it's good, but it is not cheap.
I've seen where people say they catch it at their Walmart, and I look every time just hoping maybe I'll catch it, and they've not had it in.
I had a mag member get a flat of it. It was on sale. I was like, shit. I seen
That's where
Sam's is selling it now. You can get how many? It's like 6 or 8 cans, but it comes down to saving you like $1.20 or something a pop.
That's where
I'm
I
like,
buy it from. Is
shit.
from my local Walmart. Walmart has it all the time. It's not cheap though. Each can, the 30-ounce cans or whatever they are.
Right.
It's like $9.
Yeah, it's like by the time after tax. But
Well, these
it is pretty
cans,
tasty.
this is a 12-ounce can, and they're a little over $3, not quite $4.
Yeah.
The cheese, when you buy them in the 3-pack from Walmart, they're about $1, $1.25 per pouch. And then the rice is less than $2.
Right.
They
So
sell
that
that
was
Keystone.
3, 4, 5, 6, probably $6.
Listen here, we was just talking about not putting that on the internet, you dingus.
I didn't hear that part. What did I miss?
My God.
The part about until it's really for sure free and
Wouldn't
clear.
fucking buy one and wouldn't put it on the internet that you had one. you dingus.
They've already got me
No.
because I ordered mine. I got the actual Rare Breed trigger from Rare Breed, so they got my name on the list. They just didn't get around. They just didn't get around to me when they were trying to collect them up. Yeah, so
Yeah, but why double the airplanes on the radar?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Triggers that make your gun go. But
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
The rape triggers, they force themselves upon you.
Oh no.
That sounds dirty.
My wife got me another one for she's calling it a Father's Day gift, but she already gave it to me.
Oh, there you go.
She cannot keep a secret to save her life.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, except when it isn't. Like, no, officer, my husband doesn't have any guns.
Yeah, you got that. That is true.
Can I edit the title of this stream? Yeah, I can. There we go.
Doesn't seem like Honda's going to do one, does it?
No, don't.
He probably's not. He misses half the nights anyway, all the time.
Yeah, I think he's getting burnout.
Yeah.
And his chats haven't been that good lately anyway, so to be honest. I guess it would be the same thing as you guys say, getting burned out.
Yeah, I miss the good old days when we actually had like an actual gay frog thing. There'd be like some conspiracy theory and, do a little bit of research and make your case, try and prove or disprove it.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in the news to talk about this weekend. I've just been kind of taking a media blackout and just doing real man shit instead of fucking sitting on my ass.
Yeah,
I got a wicked
following.
sunburn on my neck right now.
I'm not following any of the media really, or any of the news. I'm trying my best not to read any news. I'm
Yeah.
burned out on it. I'm burned out on the news. I'm burned
It is
out.
kind of nice not to do any of that shit on the weekends, man, because then it's like a refresher almost.
I'm all burned out on the prepping part of it and all that stuff too. I'm burned out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm in gardening season, so I'm in planting mode and
That's what I've been doing.
learning about the chickens as I go, getting pieces for that, and so that's exciting because that's new. And then the gardening, I always try some new shit. This is the first year I'm not planting tomatoes.
I officially have 25 pepper plants in the ground, 6 tomato plants, 3 celery plants, and 2 zucchinis in the ground as of right now, and a couple strawberry plants.
Heck yeah, good work, man. I still got a bed. My my zucchini patch needs in. I got my long beans going. I need to get my pepper patch in, which pretty much one entire bed is all hot peppers and jalapenos, and then another one is just jalapenos. I'm doing carrots. I'm doing a lot of onion.
Oh, that's right. I got carrots too. I got carrots and radishes in one thing too going right now.
Yeah, dude, I love radishes. I freaking pound them. They're so good.
I'm hoping to get them because there's been a lot of years where mine just go to root for some reason, which pisses me off.
Really?
Yeah, they don't bulb up.
Weird.
They just grow like a carrot, go down in the ground,
Are you using any 10-10-10 on it?
Rin 10-10.
10-10-10. Or your 10-8, whatever. Your
yeah,
10-8-8.
I do put fertilizer in there, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's why that happens sometimes or over water or not. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's all an experiment with me. I don't know what I'm doing at the time. I just do it. See what works.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I mean? I have real success though with peppers all the time. It's like I have a hard time growing tomatoes for some reason, and here in New Jersey, a Jersey tomato is the best tomato in all of America.
You are so delusional.
No, that's actually true.
You probably just don't have the right soil consistency to make them flourish.
Yeah,
this is what you do. Ready? If you plant them next to your green peppers, they'll do just fine. And if you plant green beans, like bush beans, on either side of them, they'll get plenty of nitrogen. Or mine also do well next to cucumbers.
But you don't want your tomatoes to get too much nitrogen. You don't want to fertilizer higher than 10 with them because all they will do is grow leaves instead of bare fruit.
Calcium. Tomatoes love calcium.
You need calcium, yes.
You guys were talking about the strawberry plants and stuff. I've been like prepping my mom for years now, and she doesn't even realize it. Like,
good work.
She likes to work out in the garden and stuff, but she does flowers. I always buy her stuff that fruits, like fruit trees and raspberry bushes and strawberry plants and all that stuff. She doesn't even know that I'm trying to like get her prepped up a little bit.
Good. There's nothing wrong with that, man.
Oh
Which, by the
yeah.
way, if you guys haven't got your garden in yet, stuff's starting to really go on sale. So you can get plants that are already started. Even if you just go to like Home Depot, that stuff's starting to be 50% off. So like if you wanted to attempt something, you can get like the hanging things of strawberries for cheap. You can get your tomato plant. You can get whatever. You can grow crap in a 5-gallon bucket, or you can get like 50 grow bags for like nothing on Amazon and go buy some starts.
What
And,
cracks me up
I saw
around here?
Yeah. And
Sorry.
now you'll be fine direct sowing seed. Well, in Nebraska you can. But yeah, I just got a bunch of my stuff.
Citronella is expensive around here. I found some places where each plant will be about $8, but other places it's generally $20 a plant. And that's outrageous.
Does that come back because I'm debating on pulling out the spot that I had mine in?
I
I've
do
never
not
grown it
know if
until
it comes back. I never had it come back because the winters are too cold usually.
Oh yeah, mine probably died then.
But they absolutely work against mosquitoes and everything.
Yeah, they do. I
You
was
pull
very
a leaf
impressed
off,
with that
rub it
last
on
year.
you, and you won't get bit.
I just had it in the yard and the wind blowing. Between that and I have like those, I should probably do a review on those. They have these little black and orange deals that you fill up with warm water to a line, and it puts out a pheromone that attracts female mosquitoes into it, and they all go in it and they drown and die. And like at the end of the year, they say you're supposed to change them out every month, but I just leave them up all year. At the end
Are
of the
they
year, that
the
thing will
little
no
hanger
shit be.
things?
Yeah, there'll be like 5 pounds of fucking dead mosquitoes in there.
Yeah, I just bought a bunch of those. That you got to take hot water, mix it into it, and shake it up, and you hang them up.
Yep,
Yeah,
they work great.
Tractor Supply has them right now.
Yeah, they're way cheaper on Amazon. We bought
It was
they have
$30 for
100-pack of
two.
them. Yeah, we just get 100-pack of them, and then everybody in the mag pitches me a little bit of money for however many they want, and it works out
A lot of money.
Well, you're already buying shit on Amazon anyway. Everybody goes and buys, at least 4. Some people buy 10, and then I just save them for next year, whatever's left over.
Pat, do you have an Instagram?
Yeah,
You're a monster.
I follow Muffin on there, so if you just look at his followers, you'll find me.
Yeah.
He doesn't make any of that stuff public.
Yeah, I'm a super
Oh.
secret squirrel.
He hides everything.
Yeah, man. There's some fucking freaks out in the world. I don't know if you guys missed that.
Oh no, we lost Fiend Dog.
No, not Fiend Dog.
He's back.
Sorry, I kicked myself out like an idiot.
We still love you.
Well, I went and bought some starts and stuff last weekend and put them in the ground.
Oh,
Just some tomatoes and cucumbers and some other whatever else my wife ended up picking out. And we put 2 more apple trees in the ground too.
Yeah, there you go. That's a long-term prep.
Yeah, we had 2 apple trees and 2 peach trees, and my kids ran one of the apple trees over with a 4-wheeler when it was still pretty small. They told me it was the deer just knocked it down, but I'm pretty sure they ran it over with a 4-wheeler.
Those deer
So
have quads.
It ended up dying. Like it was laid over, and I don't know. Like I tied it back up straight, and it just died. I guess I pinched the roots off or something by trying to stand it up too quickly. That's the only thing I can think of that happened to it, because it was perfectly happy, just like basically laying on the ground. But as soon as I stood it back up, it died.
Well,
I just bought a lemon tree, a little baby lemon tree. I had to bring it inside during the winter time, but we'll see how it does.
that boy.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of lemons, but the old lady likes lemons, so that's why I got it.
Citrus,
I always
man.
wanted to try an orange tree. Well,
They
I
have
like,
them.
I like,
They sell them
I
at
like
Home Depot here.
oranges.
I also like oranges.
And I
like
do have a little indoor greenhouse thing. I guess I could just use the lights off of it, probably. Try and keep it alive over the winter.
There you go.
I wonder, will they stay small enough to like live in a big pot or something that I can just move in and out?
Yeah, that's what they say to do, man. They will only grow to the size of the pot that they're in, so it won't get much bigger, you know. And
Maybe that's
supposedly
what happened to
they
this.
don't get root bound or whatever.
Maybe that's what happened to this Japanese maple tree my wife bought. She says, "Oh, it's going to be just this tiny little tree." She puts it next to the walkway. It's in between our walkway and our house. The thing's
So
getting freaking huge.
in the yard I grew up in, growing up, we had a Japanese maple that was maybe like about 5 feet tall, and then by the time I was 18, it was about 40 feet tall.
Yeah, I think it's past the point where I can dig it out and actually move it. We might end up having to just cut it down because it's already tore up the walkway. It's My walkway was just bricks, like laid into sand and whatever. It's not
Yeah,
like
they're
it was
shallow
solid or
rooted.
anything.
Yep,
Yeah, it's already got my walkway all tore up.
they're shallow rooted, and they attract ants for some reason.
pork chop sandwiches.
I like pork chop sandwiches.
Pork chops are good.
Yeah, they are. Delicioso.
Have any of you guys ever kept fruit trees?
I don't plan on staying at this location. Is the problem?
Yeah,
Like this is
I
not my forever setting up house. So
I got pretty bad ants all over my trees. I've been looking around. I think if you put something white around the trunk of the tree, it's supposed to keep them away.
cinnamon. Don't put it directly on your plant, but cinnamon will get rid of them.
You have that, and
Yeah,
you can put those spikes in the ground.
they told me somebody else was saying sprinkle diatomaceous earth all over the place. They
Yep.
Oh,
won't
that will kill them. That will kill them instantly. Yep.
Yep.
won't get past them.
Yeah, that's the thing is how much DE and all that. Like I talk about like fertilizer, but like just common pest stuff, like stuff to get like insecticides, things like that. But even just pests like ants, flies, like fly paper and shit like that. You know, fly traps, things like that. If you
That's
get some
good.
old school fly traps that are made out of glass from like an estate sale from an old farmer, those things are bomb.
Diatomaceous earth is like a wonder
And all
chemical,
you
or
gotta do
not
is just go to
chemical.
your pool store, and
Yeah, it's like 7.
you can get a shit ton of that DE right there from your pool store for next to nothing.
Really? Pool? Like where you get your pool shock and chemicals
Yeah,
for your
yeah, because that's what an earth filter is. To use that instead of sand.
I'll have to look into that.
You get them in 100-pound bags.
Really?
Yes.
You get
Yeah,
like
they
a
Common
say
30
doom.
gallon freaking water tote or something, or like a cheap 55 gallon, like a used one, and put that in there. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, 'cause I've used that stuff in my garden before, and it works wonders.
Nice.
Yeah, they
You
say
just
like if you're trying to store up grain and you can't, like, it's too much to freeze before you actually package it. They say you put in like diatomaceous earth. You put in like a layer of your grains and then some of the earth, then some more grains, and you just layer it up. And the purpose of putting it in the freezer is to kill any larvae. But they say the diatomaceous earth will do the same thing. Like if it's too much to try and freeze. And
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. I
I
always
put
just leave
some.
enough room to put a 50-pound bag in there. And
I put some.
Grumbird says, "Hello, everyone."
hey.
Hello.
Common
Uh,
Doom, your new name for me too. Welcome.
Same. Common of Doom. What up? Pork chop sandwiches with some mustard, baby. Oh hell yeah.
I keep my husky. He stays outside. I keep his dry food in a trash can, like in his shed. Like his house is half a shed. So in there, I kept dog food, and I kept getting like little beetles in there. So I started mixing in
Weevils?
that diatomaceous.
Little black beetles with like forks on their ass.
Yeah, maybe.
Those things are assholes.
But my wife is like, "Oh no, we got to throw all this food away." I was like, "The hell we do." I mixed a bunch of that diatomaceous earth in there, and I haven't seen him since.
Hell yeah. Yeah, those things are an asshole, man. I hate those things.
You put that stuff in your chicken coop so you don't get mites and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a wonder.
Yeah, I got a bunch of wood ash too because I have people that heat with wood. So I mix that with some sand, dirt, so they could do their dirt baths with that too. I heard that wood ash is really good for mites as well.
I had some weird looking bugs on my roses today, and I sprayed them down with 7 after that because I was like, I never even seen these things. They had like spikes coming off them, like looked like a roly poly that had like thorns coming off of it.
7 is really good shit too, man. I really missed that last year when I did just my bug and companion herbs and flowers and whatnot to get rid of stuff. 7
I'll
is the
use
best
7
shit
all
ever.
the time. 7 works the best.
I agree.
In the
7's
little
really
Windex
good.
bottle and just spray it on the leaves and all that.
I just like the dry one. It works good. But R had to use the liquid one on his. He has a plum tree, and the Japanese water beetles were literally eating the leaves down to the veins.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, but learning how to do it, without that is that's a skill we need to acquire today
Yeah.
before you actually need it.
Praying mantises and ladybugs and those little nematode things work really well. Yep. BRB, the cat's being crazy.
Funny enough, like when your fruit trees are real small, they can get decimated by deer. They'll just come and eat every leaf off of the damn thing. You know what keeps them away? Dried human poop in a little bag, and you hang the bag on the tree, and they stay away. Evidently, that stuff is like micro abrasive. It cuts through the exoskeleton of the bugs and dries them out from the inside. That's how they say it works. It's supposed to kill like the adults, the babies, the larvae, the eggs, and everything. But it's kind of interesting. I just heard about that like maybe a year ago. Never even heard of it before. I found a prepper group that meets up every so often out here, and they end up having a what do they call it? Like a presentation. And the first one I went to, that was the guy that was showing. He was putting up his grain in buckets and using the diatomaceous earth instead of freezing it to keep the bugs out.
Nice.
And the second one was how to use the Baofeng radios. They just did another one about freeze drying, but I freaking missed it.
I scrolled through all 522 of his followers, and I didn't find you.
I have 522 followers.
Yeah, but you follow 1,111.
Oh my god.
Well, I guess it's not mine. It doesn't say Pat Riot, so unless you recognize the, I can't look. If I do anything with my phone, I'll get kicked out of here.
You're good. That's what I was counting on recognizing the picture. I figured it probably would be some of your crafts.
I don't even know.
It's the same one you have here, I think.
Yeah, I haven't been on there in quite a while, so I can't even remember.
Well, boys, we've been going for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Do we keep going or do we call it a night and everybody get an early start on the week?
I'm cool with whatever.
Die tomatoes, earth. Oh, we didn't. There was a question put in there we didn't address.
My god.
Eduardo Espinoza asks, "Is there an easier way to put food scraps in your garden instead of digging a hole each time?"
Yes, you can get either a piece of PVC or you can get like some 1/4-inch chicken wire and find a corner in your garden, and you can rotate it every year, and you just dig it down. And if you get some worms and you put it on top of there, you can put your food scraps in there. You can put a clay pot over it so you have a flower, or you can just put a cap over it if it's PVC, and you can just keep adding your food scraps to it. It'll attract worms to your bed, which will also make your soil healthier. And you can just rotate that on the corners like I do with my deer heads. Same thing. Yep.
I saw a trick. The guy was planting the bulbs of something. I don't even know what the hell they were, but he took a like a 20-ounce bottle, or maybe it was a 2-liter bottle, and he cut like the cone off of the top, and then put the lid on it, and then screwed that lid to a I guess like a broom handle or something. And then he just used it and just like stabbed it into the ground, and it made like a nice little hole for him to plant his bulbs. I don't know if you could do something like that.
I seen that video too. That's cool. It's a good idea, actually.
Says I don't want to start the week. I'm in charge this week.
You do it. You do it well.
That's the thing about leaders is the people that you want doing the job are the ones that don't want it.
This is true.
I think like the president, I think we should just fucking randomly pick somebody from the from the country, you know what I mean? Somebody that's 35 to 65 or 35 to 55. We just randomly pick somebody to do the job, make them do it. They'd probably do a better job than these freaking crazy people we got in the government.
I could see that. It would be, yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's just to put in the next puppet, right?
Yeah, I guess you have issues like if the person is retarded. You're like, okay, next.
Pat, do you like your anechoic?
Do I like the what?
Your anechoic.
I don't know what that is.
I think they were Alpha Titan before they changed their name.
Still don't know.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I would
lost.
say no.
Glare.
You're grounded.
Your Whisper Pickle.
Your can.
Yeah. It's it was actually a Form 1 can. I totally turned that out on my home lathe.
Nice. We should talk offline.
I have since sold my lathe, so I can't
Oh,
really help.
yeah. I know somebody who has one.
I bought it just for that purpose.
Huh. I'm just gonna quit asking you incriminating shit tonight.
Yeah, you should. Oh,
What are you talking
guys.
about? What are you
Oh,
talking about?
man. Hold on,
I have a
Lawful.
lathe.
Lawful and
I
Patty's
have
sending you something. You know
I
what?
have
Hey,
the
guys.
I have the pictures. I sent them to the ATF. The ATF said you're good, and away we
Here's
go.
the deal. You remember that interesting company that wanted to send NEA a thing to test out?
Sony?
No. Sex Dolls Station. That's apparently we give that vibe. Apparently we give that vibe.
I mean, if they look at the transcripts of the chats, there's a lot of penis talk.
Yeah, we're gonna have to stop that immediately. 'Cause I don't want those emails and my wife be like, the fuck is going on over here? Oh my goodness.
I must have lingered on one of those videos too long. Have you ever seen them on there when you're like scrolling through? It's like some Chinese factory making sex dolls.
No, but I'm glad that you do.
Like I must have lingered on a video too long, like trying to figure out what the fuck I was looking at, and now I keep seeing them.
Oh no. If you cover your camera, you don't have that problem.
Yeah, I should probably do something like that.
Because it's all based on what the camera reads on you, right?
Because
It tracks your eye and whatnot.
I watched a video on how you can reset your like For You page so you don't get all the freaking the whores on there. It only lasts so long,
Yeah.
and then I
There's
guess
a lot of horror bots.
then they're like, well, you're a dude. We're gonna start showing you this crap.
Yep.
I remember when I first got on Facebook.
It's because it's sin. It's the easiest way the devil can get men, right?
Yeah.
Lust.
I remember when I first got on Facebook. Like, I don't know if you guys ever had this problem. You're like 10 years younger than I am. But when I first got on Facebook, I get like 10 friend requests a day from just random, like, air quote women wanting to be my friend.
No, I
And,
was ugly. I never had that problem. When you look like a dumpster that's been lit on fire, you don't have anybody hitting you up.
my wife, when she was younger, like she was super jealous, and she would get on there and she'd be like, "Who's this?" Like, I don't fucking know. They just send them to dudes.
It's a trap. How's that going, by the way? You and your wife digging the new deal?
It is pretty sweet. I mean, when we're in the middle of it, it sucks. Like, I don't like being far away from home for like 4 days.
Right.
I don't like that part, but we're making pretty good money.
Did you?
And we get to be
guys mess
together
with
at least.
getting like bikes and stuff with you, so that way you can help setting up some caches?
We still only have the one bicycle. I'm looking to try and find another one. I'm looking to find one. I want to try and get an electric one that folds up or comes apart or is a little more transportable.
Yeah, maybe look at a scooter.
Yeah, I was looking at those, but bicycle you can still pedal. Like if
Yeah,
it
that's true.
dies, you can still pedal. Whereas a scooter, you can just like, I guess you can still push it like a normal scooter, but it's not like a bicycle.
Right.
Um,
Bike's better. If I had to fucking bike 100 miles, or if I had to go 100 miles, I'd prefer a bike.
yeah, and I think it would be useful like beside the fact too, because there's a few places we stop. Like there's one that we stop all the time, and there's a like I'm a sucker for Taco Bell, and there's not a lot of those in the truck stops unless you make us. I mean, there are some, but few and far between. So the one that we always stop at, there's one like across the street and down the road a little ways. Like it's walkable, but when you're in a hurry, like you don't want to take 40 minutes just to go get something to eat. I
Right.
was thinking if I got like an electric bike or something, we could just zip over there and get the food to go and then zip back. So I think it might be useful besides just the the never going to happen, the least likely scenario to ever happen. Shit hit the fan. It would actually be useful beyond that, just sitting there.
Right.
I found you. I was already following you. Didn't realize it.
And I'm slowly coming to the realization, like my kids are grown, and everybody knows to come to my house because that's where all the goodies are. So like if we're out west and the freaking EMP happens or Yellowstone goes off or the freaking poles shift, my wife and I are just gonna have to try and make our way out there. Like find a group out there and just be, because we're never gonna make it 3,000 fucking miles or 2,000 miles.
Not
And
with that
just
attitude.
just hope that hope that it's only a temporary situation. And there's very few things that wouldn't be just like very localized or just temporary. Like even if a EMP like wipes us out from the sun, it's only going to be the side that was facing the sun at the time. So we got a 50-50 shot where if it hits the other side of the globe and we don't get it. So if it hits us, at least there'll be the other half of the world that would hopefully like help.
Right. Hopefully.
You would think, when China shows up or the blue hats and the freaking Appalachia boys just start popping them. We don't want you here. We like
Yeah,
it this way.
I am Day of Wrath very focused right now. That's my
I
immediate
mean,
prep.
I feel that's a
Other
matter
than
of
right.
when, not a matter of if. Like
Yeah,
they're here,
I can see
and
it
they're just,
happening in my lifetime very much, if not multiple times. Like once it happened once, do you think they're really going to not do it again and again and again?
yeah. Reading that book and as pissed off as I was about it and as eye opening as it was, I felt personally attacked because I carry the Ruger that the dude carries
It's
in
a,
the story.
I mean,
It's
at the
like,
time, it was a great pocket pistol. Like, don't feel attacked. Like it.
I'm just joking. I was like, he wrote this for me to get me to carry a full size,
Right. A dinker thing that you can get 2 fingers on with 6 rounds just sometimes don't cut it.
right. And then I started hearing the other stories about, like, it's a whole new level to it if those people get a hold of like police uniforms
Right.
and police cars and radios and gear and stuff like that. Like, just imagine for a second one of the terrorists is dressed like a cop and you like you're in a safe spot and you see what's going on, and you're like, why the fuck is that cop just killing people? And then you realize, like, he looks like a Muhammad, so he must be the terrorist that's actually doing this. Let's just say you figure it out and you're going to try and stop the threat. Well, 47 people just watched you
Smoke a cop.
smoke a cop.
Yep.
So now they're thinking you're the bad guy. Like, just the chaos. Oh my God. Like, I don't even want to put it out into the world. Like, just please don't.
Getting off the X
that-
becomes even that much more important, which is why
Yeah,
I'm
just-
really pushing the physical fitness thing.
Just please don't be that smart.
Right. Be blissfully ignorant.
Yeah. I mean, I've said it in the past. Like, I'm not the hero. I have one job, and that's to get my family out.
To an extent, this is already kind of happening in New York State specifically. There's a bunch of Islamic followers that are driving around vehicles that look like cop cars and are basically like these fake ass security guys being like, oh, this is against Sharia law. You must stop doing these things now. And it's like them trying to bust people for drinking and stuff like that in public or drinking just in general, whatever it is.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, we caught China doing the same thing. They had police stations, and we caught them.
Yeah. You don't think they have one? I think they said they know about at least minimum one in every single state. Why did they only stop? What was it? One state, and I think that state had multiple.
They're
and they didn't even stop it. They got all the shit cleaned out. Like all they did is they came into all the shit that was shredded, and everything else was gone.
Yeah, I didn't hear the rest of that story.
They got the heads up.
That's crazy.
So that means somebody up higher knew that was happening and told them to get out. And they have enough. They're organized enough that they can clear out within under 12 hours. If they told you that at 5 o'clock at night and somebody comes in at 7 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever, they come in to bust it, they had that time to get everything scrubbed and everything out, which means they are organized. And the fact that we're like preppers saying, "Oh man, we're so good. We're gonna do everything when Civil War pops off or SHTF. We're all gonna come together and make it." That's why I dropped that one deal in my Discord, like all those YNs that were like training and stuff. Yeah, people were making fun of it and stuff, but did you see how many fucking people were there? If you had 50 people showing up every week getting a little bit better, and we can't even talk to anybody about being a prepper, and it's just you and your family.
Because you're a Fed.
Yeah.
Because you're a Fed.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, like, say what you want. You can make fun of Antifa all you want or whatever, but look at the numbers they get on riots and where they need them to and bust and around and enough food and money and black clothing and face coverings and milk to get the pepper spray off and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They're doing it and they're getting better at it and more efficient at it. And we're still sitting on the fucking internet talking about it. Well, not necessarily.
They're not. Well, I don't know. That may have changed, but in the past, they haven't been targeted. Like that, we've been made so afraid to even talk about the subjects. Like just even getting together for some kind of meetup or something like that. Like people just like, you're a Fed. You're trying to get everyone's contact information.
One reason why I hide all my shit.
I told that story, didn't I? When I first started with the AP3, the American Patriot 3%ers. I was trying to organize everybody, and it's like, I want to be able to get a hold of you when shit hits the fan, and they're like, Fed, get out of here.
Right. It's been something.
The thing missing from the whole 3%er thing, where it only took 3% of the country to revolt. Like the thing that's missing from that is the Green Dragon Inn, the tavern. There's really no place for a bunch of dudes to get together and talk about revolutionary shit.
Yeah.
Slideshow Bob said there was an anti-president protest near his small town today.
How many people showed up, Slideshow Bob?
As many as the Democrats can pay for.
Yeah. It's a pretty big group, isn't it?
More than that showed up for the last gun rally. more than are in the Capitol right now protesting because they won't put the Short Act or the HPA in this reconciliation bill.
It's kind of disgusting.
He said fewer than 50.
Yeah. Well, still more than what our EDCs are, right?
All retirees.
They still vote for stuff, and they have money.
Yeah, just the fact that they know how to coordinate people is a huge advantage.
Yep. Like, okay, I'm gonna do it right here. I'm not picking on anybody. Let's just run through the chat. All right. Is Fiend Dog fucking asleep? Fiend Dog's fucking asleep.
He left.
All right, lawfully.
Dropped out.
If you needed, I don't know if you watched Southern Prepper 1's latest video, but he's like, we live in prepper country, and where they are, he's like, I can get 50 people here within an hour, cocked and locked, ready to rock. Can you make 5? Can you make 10?
Depends on the scenario.
Any
If it's
scenario, 1 hour, minus EMP. Minus you get nuked in Arkansas.
It depends on the motivation, is what I'm saying. Like it would depend on what I needed to get people to rally for.
Worst case
And
scenario.
I'm gonna talk about it.
Right.
But yeah,
Just
I
think
could probably
think worst case scenario zombies.
There you go, zombies. Do you think you could get enough people with their shit squared away to get their bug out in 1 hour? I timed a bug out on everything that I want to take. Like if I had the evening to take everything, and it's a staggering amount higher than what you think. You're like, oh, I'll just grab my bug out bag and this tote and then clean out my safe. And I need to grab clothes for my kid and diapers, and I need to grab medication and medicine and all that. Like I'm not leaving. Like if it's the one, like I found out I need a trailer. If it's me taking everything from this area that I live, because I also want to take my hardware. I want to take all my tools. I want to take all my nails, screws. I'm going to take all that. I want to take all my PVC. I want to take all my wood. I want to take all that shit. I want to take all my 2x4s, all my plywood. I want to take everything I can to make repairs. I want to take all my gardening shit. I want to take all my gardening tools. I don't want to leave any of that. So I found out, wow, that's not going to work out. So realistically, in a bug out for me, it's X amount of totes, X amount of bags, X amount of pew-pews, and I'm not taking all the pew-pews.
Now, that was kind of my idea. Just hasn't come to fruition. My stepdad is supposed to sell me an enclosed trailer that he doesn't want anymore, but he keeps dragging his feet. My idea is to have an enclosed trailer like loaded up and ready to go with whatever can stand the elements. You know what I mean?
Right. Just like the book on Cybernuke, he had a trailer, and it was all he got 26 5-gallon or 6-gallon buckets of food in there, plus some other whatever other stuff.
Yeah, I like you made me contemplate even further. Like I thought, food and stuff like that. I didn't even think to pack. Like everybody has a small wardrobe in there ready to go. I didn't think of that.
I have a tote of winter and a tote of summer clothes that fit. And
Yeah.
it's not enough for a whole week, but it's like 3 or 4 days. So then it gives you time to do laundry. But then you also need your laundry soap, and you need something to agitate it. If you do it just in a 5-gallon bucket, you need all kinds of shit. But I'm taking all my hoses and everything, because worst case scenario, I'm poking nails through them bitches, and I'm going to use them. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to use all of my shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to leave anything in my garage. I want all my tools. I want all my nails, all my zip ties, all my duct tape, all my rope, all my tarps. I want all that shit, because guess what? You can't call a roofer and shit hits the fan after you have a tornado and a branch goes through your roof. You have to fix it yourself. You know what I mean?
Tarps. You're gonna need tarps.
Yeah, Harbor Freight sells some good tarps. Like they're not like high quality, but like you can get some big tarps. I just got a 60-footer for like 39 muffins. I'm folding it in half and putting it underneath the pool. Pools, if you get a pool on sale, having a pool staged at a bug out location, so that way you can fill it with via if you just have to rain. Not bad. That's a lot of water. And you can catch those on sale sometimes at the end of the year, or you get a used one.
And I've said it before, so I think it bears repeating, is if you can afford to have a storage unit somewhere between your domicile and your intended location, if you can stop there and resupply up. If you don't have a lot of room, like if you're an apartment guy, or if your house is real small, you don't have a garage or whatever.
Yeah. Just not having
and
it
I
all in
even
one spot.
I even thought of like if it came really down to it, you could use that. Most of those places are fenced, and they've usually got barbed wire across the top of them. And worst case scenario, the one where that I was renting, they didn't have a fence, but you know the aisles are narrow. You could use a broke down vehicle to block the ends off, and then you've got kind of like a little secure location. You can walk the the roofs of those things to like keep watch and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I for one of my locations traveling, I plan on spending the night in one, and then I know I'll be secure enough, like, and then I can refresh all my gear, top off my food and water, and get
I
a
mean,
different things.
they say don't you're not allowed to store fuel in there. Well, nobody checks. You know what I mean?
You're not supposed to store a lot of things somewhere, but in Minecraft, you can do whatever you want. It's America.
Yeah.
These two burn down the whole storage.
Yeah, good to go. Well, Scooch had done it before, and I don't know if you've seen some of the stuff he puts in a storage unit, but it's definitely not pew related.
I think you got to have older gas cans though. Those new gas cans, I don't know if you've got any of them, but they blow up like a fucking balloon when it gets hot because they're not vented at all. Like you dumbass, gas evaporates.
Tractor Supply sells a kit for $8 that you can rig up 2 of them. It gives you a vent that you take a drill to, and it has like a little plug with a gasket on it, and then they have a spout that doesn't have all that crap on it. And I have bought several of those because, yeah, the new gas cans. I've spilt more gas with those new gas cans than I have with a regular fucking gas can.
The government and their better ideas.
Oh yeah, they're smart. Well, nobody else is talking except for me and Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting pretty late for you normies.
Yep. I think I'm going to call it UYN Stay Sexy.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Y'all be nice.
I want to be naughty.
Easy now.
Any closing words?
Work out, get better, get fit, get harder to kill, be able to go the distance.
Top said, stay hard.
Always do something to better yourself.